So when you sent me the notes for the episode, I had so many questions, but the first song that came to mind, well, what came to your mind when like you think ego?
I mean, when I came up with the topic, it was Kanye, Beyonce. I mean, that's the first thing I'm gonna think of. I think that song, and it wasn't. The crazy thing is they're not talking about ego, right? They're talking about, you know what they're talking about. So,
You're talking Beyonce's Got a Big Ego.
Yeah.
Ego song.
Ego,
Okay.
yeah.
When I hear, I think like, I don't think Beyonce gets enough credit for the way that she has her personalities and her egos, and like she has Sasha Fierce and she has these personalities that she hops into.
Yeah.
So when I think ego, I think it goes either way. It could either be like negative, like, they have an ego, or I think like, if I'm doing a photo shoot, I'm going to try to channel my inner Beyonce. Like, I'm going to play the music. I'm going to flip that switch like, okay, it's camera time. I'm on.
Do you think she flips the switch, or you think it's manufactured?
I think that's a slippery slope, because a lot of people get into like she has an alter ego. It's a spiritual thing. She steps into this. I think anybody that has performed or participated in sports, or, I mean, even in a relationship, there's a switch that has to flip that now you're on.
Sure.
Even for us doing this.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, I have to think about what I'm saying. I have to make sure that I'm not just cussing or saying anything that could be taken out of context. So for her, I think it's very much an on-stage presence. From seeing that lady perform, there's a switch that occurs.
Because you've seen her perform. I have not been to a Beyonce concert.
Do
Obviously,
it.
if everybody,
Let's go.
you know, if you have the funds to go sit in a good spot and watch Beyonce perform, you know, I guess obviously that would be like a bucket list thing, right?
I think it should be on everybody's bucket list.
Beyonce.
Yeah, like I was not a fan. I told y'all that. Like I wasn't here for it. I was like, whatever, she's cool.
Yeah.
And went to that. I left with business ideas. I left with, I need to tighten my stuff up.
So she inspired you just in general.
Absolutely.
Was it the performance itself, or just the entire production, everything?
Everything, like big Virgo status, from the lighting to the seating to the positioning to where her fans are positioned so that she can have breaks without taking breaks. Everything was meticulously planned down to the T. It's just like, she might have an ego, but I mean, she deserves it.
And that's the thing, I think with Beyonce, like I wouldn't even know she has an ego. Does she even do she doesn't even do interviews. But
okay, so I was up last night, couldn't sleep, and scrolling. I see why she doesn't do interviews. They were asking her stupid stuff.
They're gonna ask it's Beyonce. They're gonna ask her the wildest shit.
She probably has not done an interview since like early 2000s. The interviews that I saw,
probably since fucking Destiny Child,
Austin Powers. And they were asking her the stupidest stuff.
That is probably the last time she did an interview.
Stupid. So Beyonce, how did you fit into your dress? She was like, I'm sorry, what? How'd you get into your dress? She's like, how did I physically put it on? What?
You know what they're trying to ask her? They're like, your ass fat.
I wouldn't do it. And for her,
Beyonce, say your ass is fat, please. Like,
for her, I'm with her. She said,
that's what she's trying to do.
I'm not doing no media training. I'm out of here. Okay. I'm not talking to nobody. I feel like
that's how you would feel if somebody asked you that?
Yeah, I would ask, like, what stupid question is that? I probably would have Scarlett Johansson them. Like, why are you talking to me like that? And for Beyonce, I do think she has an ego, because I find it really hard. It annoys me when all these like churchy women are like, ooh, I can't listen to this. Like, it's so bad. But then you're blasting Beyonce like bar for bar. Yeah. That lady is a freak.
She is.
Like,
Ego is literally the song that, you know, explains.
If you listen to like Partition, like Driver Roll Up the Partition, please. I don't need you seeing Beyonce on her knees. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's how you open the song?
And Beyonce, she's so good at it, because I don't really realize it until I sit down. You know, obviously
Jhené Aiko, like it's those soft, calm voices that like you don't realize.
Yeah, you don't realize it. Then you're like, what did she say?
But I think an ego can go either way.
I mean,
I think it could be a Kanye or it could be a Beyonce.
And I wonder if maybe they're on the same level. And for the audience, if y'all don't know, that is our topic today. It is about ego. And welcome to the Bridge. This is the Bridge ATL. As y'all see right now, we have a different format. It is me and Ashley on the board. You know what I'm saying? But first of all, y'all know who it is. It's your boy Kell. And I guess I'm the new host. I don't know yet. We'll see. This is not the first time I've done it, I believe, but we're gonna start off with me. You know what I'm saying, today. And obviously, Ashley here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Not a co-host, the other host. You know what I'm saying, or the host as well. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Dynamic duo. That's how we're going to try to run this from now on. We might have some guests come in every now and then, every other episode or whatever. So we'll see how this goes on from now on. We just want to make sure that y'all understand that what we have to say is a bit better because, it's 2 people. Tyler's still here though. So
I'm in the back.
What I'm saying? Tyler
running
was
production. Y'all gonna hear me sometimes.
Yeah, he was always doing production when we first started the Bridge. If y'all remember all the OGs, if y'all know what's going on, he was always producing in the background anyway. So we're gonna try to get more information to y'all. It's easier with 2 heads than 3 because obviously me and Tyler basically had the same topics most of the time, and so maybe y'all will hear us a little bit more clear this time. And so basically today, like I said, once again, the topic is ego. But before we get into it, I want y'all to like, follow, subscribe, click that button, hit up your friends, call your mama, you know what I'm saying? Do whatever you can to get us on the board. If y'all like our stuff, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Just do it anyway if you don't like it. Talk shit. Say that I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. Just do something, put us out there, let people know what we're talking about. But Ashley asked the main question, and it is, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the word ego? Now, ego is the topic today because it's January, 11th today?
Yeah.
2026. And I was thinking about everything that's going on because a lot of shit has gone on in the first couple days of January.
11 days into a new year, and it's been things every day.
Exactly. And so it's kind of crazy because I remember last season, I think shit was crazy the first couple days.
It was wild. It was wild.
And so when you think about it, you got to wonder where does this all start at? Like, why does this keep happening? And it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing, but obviously it's been kind of crazy. I mean, we can all say it's been kind of crazy, hectic, the first couple of days of January. But we think about it, and where does it all come down to? And I believe ego, if y'all know what that is, ego is usually the reason as to why most of these things happen. I mean, we can start off with basically, what is it? What is it in general? Do you know what ego, like the actual word or what it actually means? Or what does it mean to you specifically?
To me, I feel like ego is I think ego can be good or bad. And I think it's almost how you feel about yourself and then how you present that to others.
Okay.
So kind of going to like that Beyoncé thing, like you can channel your ego for good. Like if you are a dancer, if you're a singer, if you're an athlete and you flip that switch, then you're athlete Ashley, you're photo shoot Ashley. And then, you flip the switch, you're just you.
Mm-hmm.
I think ego becomes a problem when your ego is bigger and you're not able to pivot or move, or you're not able to admit when you're wrong.
Okay. No, I mean, that's a fact. I mean, like you said, how I see it is specifically is, you got to look at yourself. When you look at yourself, sometimes you don't even look at yourself when you have an ego. You kind of just, go on with the flow. Give me somebody, for example, if you wanted to explain ego, I think we talked about this earlier. If you want to explain ego, pick a person and let's dissect them right quick.
Trump.
Okay. Perfect, right? So Trump, big or small ego?
Big.
Okay. And where do you think that comes from specifically when it comes to
walk through life with the confidence of a white man?
Yeah.
I think never being told no, never been told that his ideas are stupid, being allowed to do whatever, whenever, and then just feeling like he is the utmost everything. Mm-hmm. Feeling like you're always correct, feeling like you can never do wrong. I think people get confidence and ego confused. And I think a lot of women get the term ego thrown at them like, oh, you have a big ego, or oh, you're full of yourself. Mm-hmm. When in reality, it's like, I think that's different. I don't think people understand the difference. I think Trump and his followers and all of that is a great example of ego, because you're not able to receive new information and admit, you know what, mm-hmm. I might be wrong. And I think that's where like ego, arrogance all comes into play. Mm-hmm. A lot of relationships fail because of ego.
Facts.
If you're not able to just take a step back and say, you know what, I'm wrong, it's like, nah, she's right, but I'm not going to let her have it. Or he's right, but yeah, I can't let him know that he's right.
No, that's facts. I mean, like you said, walking around with the confidence of a white man.
Yeah. It's a saying. It's like walk around with the confidence of a white man.
Okay.
Whenever you go into work, whenever you have an idea, because they could be the most incompetent, mm-hmm. unqualified person for the job and will sit there and tell you 150 reasons why they are correct. You sent me a video to watch for mm-hmm. something we're going to discuss later on. Mm-hmm. And all I could think when this man was talking is he's not answering any questions mm-hmm. because he's so focused on proving his point mm-hmm. and proving that he's correct. This is all I'm going to talk about because mm-hmm. I have to prove that I'm right.
Okay.
Even though you're asking me what color are the curtains, I'm not answering that. I'm talking about my outfit.
Right. I mean, I think that's how we define it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how it's brought to us anyway when we hear the word ego. Now, I went to school for psychology, and the person that you think about or the person that you're told to read about is Sigmund Freud, who came up with the idea of ego. And he broke it down to three things. The id, the ego, which is, what we call it, and then the superego. The id is what we want. Obviously, we have an ego. We have our primitive things that we want: sex, money, whatever, right? And during rage times, I remember murder was a big thing when we read about the id. Ego is how we get it. So basically, how we come to these conclusions with it in our mind. And these are very scientific things. Y'all don't have to really dissect this because this is a whole psychology course on this kind of shit.
Do you think you have an ego?
Everybody has an ego, for sure. Ego drives us.
You think it's a good or a bad ego?
So that's the thing, right? I think at times it can be. At times I kind of look into myself and I kind of dial it back. But that's where you determine who has a big ego and who has a small one. Or I wouldn't even say small ego. It's just somebody who has a lot of humility. But I can't, honestly, when it comes to ego, I can't really dissect myself on my ego. It depends on those around me. I think they determine what my ego is. It's like if I ask somebody, you think I'm famous? I think I'm famous. I can't.
You think you're famous?
No. I mean, but somebody could be like, oh yeah, I think you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I might get more love outside in the streets or something like that. And I don't even know it.
So you're more like environmentally ego driven.
What is that?
Like your ego is dictated based on your environment.
Well, it depends, right? I could be out. So for example, if we play sports or something, like if I'm outside playing basketball and I go for 30, my ego's gonna be to the roof.
Yeah.
But some people score 30 and their ego is
docile.
Yeah, it's I did good. I think everybody else did better. You see it a lot. Like I said, you see in different people. And there's a couple examples we're gonna go to with certain players and certain people whose ego.
I love an ego when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
I love an ego when it comes to musicians and everything. I think as someone in a career, in a field, you should always feel like you're the best. Now, I'm not saying that means you need to crap on other people's hopes and dreams and make them feel smaller to make yourself feel big.
Right.
But I think, again, I'm going to use the Beyoncé. When you walk out on that stage, you should feel like Beyoncé. When you walk out onto that court, you should feel like Beyoncé. When you're doing a presentation, you should feel like I have done the best that I can. And I think her ego comes from preparation. Mm-hmm. She's practicing with broken feet. She's dancing until her heel breaks and then keep dancing. She's ensuring lighting, cameras, staff, her body. She's exercising. Like, if you're putting in the work, at that point, I don't think that that's an ego. I think it's more like, let me pop it because I've done the work.
Yeah. I mean, I think like how you seen and it inspired you from how she was able to do her thing.
Yeah.
That's because her ego at that point is at a high where it's beneficial to where it can inspire people. And I think that's the point of people. That's what you're kind of supposed to do if your ego is big at that moment. Because I feel like I don't think your ego is big all the time. I think at that point in time where she's on the stage, it has to be. I'm performing, so I have to kind of inflate myself a little bit. Because I don't think you can have like a.
I wouldn't want to go see her and she's like, oh.
If you think about Summer Walker, I don't think her ego was huge when she first started. Right?
I think she's just lazy. I do. I think she's like a.
I think she's better now though. Have you seen her now?
Who is it? Lauren Hill never shows up for her stuff.
Okay, so look, I think that's big ego, but
I don't think that's big ego. I think she can't perform. She can't perform half of her catalog. She had to change all of what she can perform.
I think that's ego though.
And then I don't think she's paid properly. So it's like the people that's buying the tickets are dumb. Like, I don't feel bad for you.
It's Lauren Hill.
There's no way I'm buying a ticket to somebody that is notoriously known to not show up. That's stupid. That's like dating a serial cheater. And you get cheated on, you're surprised.
If your Lauren Hill tickets are like $70.
Keep your $70. Go out to eat.
I don't know. I'm gonna go try to see Lauren Hill.
You're not gonna see her.
Maybe. But what if I do?
You won't.
It's Lauren Hill.
And won't.
Think about it.
How many people have actually seen her?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But I mean, so, all right, so look,
I've seen more. I tried to see her than I've seen her.
You did? Have you tried to see her?
No, I'm saying I've seen more people on the internet complaining. I tried to see her. I waited 5 hours. She never showed up. Yeah. She was late. She didn't come.
I don't think she's that late. It might be more than most people. I agree, but I think there's a reason why people are paying, right? Imagine if
don't
Beyonce
know.
was doing the same thing. I think she would still have. She wouldn't have the grandiose that she has right now.
Absolutely not.
But I still think she would have that appeal of like that's Beyonce, right?
Beyonce's not. She's a different league.
I just think that
Summer Walker cleaned her stuff up because I think she was realizing you're not famous enough to come sit on a couch and sing for 3 hours.
I think that was a fear thing though. Like I said, her ego.
She didn't look
really
fearful when she was twerking on Instagram Live.
Well, that's new. That's new though, ain't it?
3 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that new. She didn't seem timid to me when she was arguing with
But
old
she's in her
girl
home-
about somebody
it's-
else's man.
Instagram Live is different from being on stage. Like ego in your own home compared to ego on stage is different.
So an internet warrior.
Yeah.
So you could be an ego driven in your house in
Think
the
about
comfort.
it.
Okay.
It's people at home right now who their mind is all over the place, and then you meet them in person. You know what I mean? People talk shit on the internet all day, but what are you gonna do if I see you in person?
And y'all better stop. Them people are pulling up.
That's what I'm saying. And so, as we talk about people and we give you examples of ego and how it can go up and down or how it's used properly or improperly, let's talk about how it affects you and me and everybody else, right? So, ego when you hear the word ego, I want people to kind of relate it to. I want you to think about politics. Every single one of these politicians has an ego. It does not matter. Now, you like I said before, everybody has an ego, right? Now, big or small, doesn't matter. I mean, everybody has a certain ego in general, but politicians have a different type of ego. Obviously, I think politicians have to.
These new politicians have a different kind of ego.
I think every politician's done this. I mean, I think they have to lie at some point. I mean, you can't get everything right? You can attempt, but I think you have to manipulate your constituents at some point. You have to have a pretty big fucking ego to even do it, right?
I'm 50% there with you.
Okay. Where's the other 50% at?
I would say I agree. I think politics, in order to be a politician, you have to be a liar. You have to have an inflated version of self. You have to be willing to lie, cheat, and steal to work your way to the top. Personally, it's just my opinion. There's back-ended deals. It's not 100% honest. It is what it is. I can't even say they're new politicians. I'll say the Trump cabinet politicians.
The MAGA
cult. It's a different ego. And I think it's it's like bully.
Okay.
It's no rhyme, no reason. It's almost like when you're a kid and you're arguing with your mom and you're like, but why? Why? And she's like, because I said so. Okay, that leads me to believe you don't know what you're talking about or you don't want to take the time to articulate it.
Yeah. I mean,
and to me, that's not an ego. It would be an ego thing. It's an inflated version of self. Mm-hmm. You feel like you are so here that I am not owed an explanation. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
I think with politics in general, we're okay with understanding that, yeah, you're going to sell us the sun, the moon, and the stars, but realistically, you can't deliver that.
Okay.
I get that. This new version is basically like, I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you, no, Ashley has on a jean outfit. And you're like, no, she doesn't. She has a dress on. And you're looking me into my eyeballs, telling me that. And it's pure delusion. And I feel like these news sources, everybody that's giving these people a platform are increasing their ego. Mm-hmm. Like the video you sent me, I genuinely wish they would have taken him off air. As soon as he was deciding to actively not answer the correct question, like, you're going on a tangent over here. This is what I'm asking you. Mm-hmm. You get one more opportunity to answer this question, and then I'm pulling the plug. Because that's how they keep getting to circulate what they want. Mm-hmm. And then they're chopping and screwing it and putting it on their TikToks and on their whatever. And they're like, see, this person supports us. See, CNN supports us. Fox News supports us. We said what we said, and they said nothing back. You're leaving out the fact that they didn't say anything back because it's not what they were asking. Yeah. So I think in order to deflate those egos, pull the plug.
Just take them off the platform, or just not even put them on the platform.
Completely. How do you stop a fire? You suck the oxygen out. Don't give it a platform. No, that's Stop giving it air. Yeah. Stop. Yeah. Stop.
And I think that's the thing with current politics. You know, you can't really. It's hard to really just plug a politician, especially somebody with power like that. And I'll explain to y'all exactly what she's talking about. If y'all know, and y'all should know, Trump is basically the very simplified.
Can't wait to see how you're going to word this.
The very simplified version is that Trump kidnapped the president of Venezuela.
He illegally invaded a foreign country that is separate and apart from the United States of America.
Yep.
He broke into their country in the middle of the night with U.S. armed forces and illegally kidnapped not only their president, but the president's children.
And wife. Yeah.
Wife and children. He kidnapped the president's family.
He did the children?
Attacked. I think the son's missing, I believe.
Oh, okay. I think he's probably part of that.
He took the family and disappeared and then said, we now control Venezuela. That is wild. Imagine if another country were to come over here and kidnap Trump and his family.
Well, that would.
I'm not giving any countries ideas, but.
Yeah, but.
No.
Yeah, he.
You know where the White House is.
And he,
or Mar-a-Lago.
What he did was basically saying that he's going to take their oil.
He didn't say basically. He said we're taking their oil.
He's going to basically run the country until they were able to, I guess, democratically find another leader.
Not true.
He's not going
That's
to?
a lie. So that's how they got caught in their lies. He said the reason that they invaded was because, and this is where ego comes into all this, the reason he invaded allegedly is because Venezuela is such a horrible, terrible country. This is Trump's words, not mine. They could not be controlled. They did not want their president any longer. So he did what he felt was necessary by sticking America's nose in another country's business. They had a vice president she was voted in, and I think it was over a 70% her vote, meaning over 70% of the population wanted her in. She was voted in by the people. She technically should be the acting president right now.
Yes, she should, yeah.
He said, no, we are going to control it. Mm-hmm. You are no longer allowed to control your country. So what he's trying to pretend is looking out for America, which, again, I'm not sure how we never mind our own business as a country. And this is bigger than Trump. I feel like we have a big issue with our ego as America, feeling like it is our duty to stick our nose in everyone's business instead of worrying about our own. We have homeless people here. We have hungry people here. We have our own issues. In the house. Why are we worried about what other people are doing?
I mean, you have to realize he does this on the back foot of Epstein's files getting released and people asking, like, because they didn't drop all of them, only dropped a certain percentage. So everybody every single day was asking where are the rest of the files, and they're still not getting dropped. We still haven't gotten the full amount of the files. So
we're also billions of dollars in debt. And if we control their oil and gold supply, which I believe, doesn't Venezuela have one of the largest oils in the world?
Yeah, they have probably, I think the largest supply of crude oil in the world, yeah.
So if we control, America, that's now in debt, now controls the largest oil supply in the world. I think this is bigger. This is bigger than Epstein. Like, it's not, we're already missing billions from our audits that it's just completely unaccounted for, which before 9/11 happened, there was billions of dollars missing. So this always happens. But there's billions of dollars missing. There's insider trading. There's all these issues. And now you say, you know what? Venezuela said they weren't going to sell to us anymore. Venezuela said no more oil, no more gold, no more weapons. So then they go into the country and kidnap the president?
Yeah, I mean,
if that's not a big ego, I don't know what is.
No, I mean, it's the definition of ego. And like I said, it doesn't even necessarily start with Trump. His entire cabinet is full of people with major egos. And we're going to go to a clip with Stephen Miller. Do you know about Stephen Miller?
Sadly, not until you forced me to watch this to be prepared.
I need the entire audience to know who Stephen Miller is. He is the Homeland Security Advisor. If you think about ICE, I mean, it goes all the way up to him. If you look at Stephen Miller, I mean, a lot of people were basically, I ain't gonna lie, they kind of compare him to Hitler in a way. It's kind of crazy. If you see a lot of his old videos, he's very super controversial. I mean, obviously, a lot of the people in his cabinet are highly controversial. But we're going to go to a clip of him talking to CNN with Jake Tapper, who's a correspondent with CNN, and he's talking about how Trump basically took over Venezuela and why he did it. So y'all gotta see this if y'all haven't seen it already.
Question about who is now running Venezuela is one that even members of Congress who are big Trump supporters say they're not quite sure about. Senate Majority Leader John Thune told CNN's Manu Raju that he doesn't know what President Trump meant by his assertion that the U.S. is running Venezuela, and he said he needs more information. Can you tell us what the president means when he says, is acting President Delcy Rodriguez in charge? Is she running Venezuela or not?
Well, what the president said is true. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. Jake, we live in a world in which you can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else. But we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world that have existed since the beginning of time.
But in terms of day-to-day operations in Venezuela, that is acting President Rodriguez, right? It's not some sort of American emissary.
No, what I'm saying is, we'll keep going here, Jake. So I want to say what I'm saying, and you'll follow up. But what I'm saying is just one level above that, which is that, by definition, we are in charge, because we have the United States military stationed outside the country. We set the terms and conditions. We have a complete embargo on all of their oil and their ability to do commerce. So for them to do commerce, they need our permission. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. So the United States is in charge. The United States is running the country during this transition period.
If that's true,
obviously that doesn't mean that President Trump is setting the bus fare schedule inside the country. So doesn't mean that President Trump is assigning the K-12 curriculum in the country.
The indictment that
what he's about to say, though, is the biggest point. Regardless of Stephen not answering the question, right?
Yeah.
And clearly avoiding answering the question, which they do so well. You can never get a direct answer out of them, which I think is like the reason I personally loathe politics. You ask a politician a yes or no question and they will never answer you.
Yeah.
The issue is you went into another country because that country refused to do business with you, which is completely their right. And you then said, no, I want what you have, so I'm going to come and take what I want. That's a problem. It's unethical. It's illegal. It's bigger than just a big ego. And the fact that this, again, walk through life with the confidence of a white man, that this man can get on national television and say, yeah, I don't care. Yes, of course we're running that country. And if you keep watching, he's going to say, and we're going to take Greenland too. So if this is what we're showing other countries is acceptable because our president's ego is so big and his constituents aren't reeling him in to say, like, this is not a playground, like you are treading down a very slippery slope, what's going to happen when other countries, which they've already been doing, they're saying this is wrong, and how do we not know that we're next? Which is how I would feel. If your neighbor decides, you know what, I want to live in their house, and they go next door and they beat them up and they kick them out of their home, wouldn't you feel like you could be next?
I mean, I think that's the whole basis of being a politician or even being in power is having a big ego. I mean, the ability for him to even do that, the ability for him to be able to hire somebody like this to be in this position to talk about what he just did with Venezuela is basically the absolute. I mean, it's evidence that, ego is a part of everything. Like I said, the whole point is ego is a part of everything.
I get that we're America and we're the greatest country. I get it.
I mean, what is it? Guns blazing, eagles and
it's giving Wild Wild West.
I mean, I have a homie from Algeria. The first thing he said, the thing about America that nobody else has, the amount of flags that I've seen in this country,
and they're used so improperly,
all over the place, is
so improperly.
Crazy. Like it's all over. And I never recognized it until he told me that, and I looked around, and sure enough, flags everywhere. Just flags,
we got state flags, we got city flags,
everywhere.
We got local flags, we got everything.
And so a lot of people that we share this country with, they like that. That's what they want. But at the same time, they're also very. I think the word is insular, or very. They don't know about the outside world. They only know about very much their own circles. Like you look at the rural communities.
I think that's more the Confederate flag people, but
I don't want to say. I think, what is it? Idaho. I don't think they're Confederate flag. Like, Idaho.
Like potatoes?
Yeah, like very rural. I mean, rural communities in Ohio, rural communities in Pennsylvania.
I lived in very rural communities in Ohio
Yeah.
and Pennsylvania. The KKK actively practices in Ohio.
Yeah.
Definitely Confederate flags.
Yeah, they have Confederate flags in Ohio. Isn't that like North still? Is that not North?
Are people not racist? Like
Yeah.
you think that racism doesn't exist?
I thought that would just be like a South thing. I never, because I know we didn't see, I'm pretty sure there were racist people in California and like New Mexico. I don't think they had Confederate flags though. I think that's like
I think it's just like a backwoods redneck thing. Like you have your Confederate flag, you have your lifted truck. And yeah, I think it's just a thing. I get torn when it comes to like the politics and the egos because I don't think that's where our country is supposed to be. I think, yes, politically you should have a big ego. Yes, as America, we should feel like we're the best country. Yes, everybody should feel like they're the best at what they do. However, I think our inflated version of ego has just gotten really out of hand. And I think America's always been great at pretending that we are the home of the free when in reality we don't actually have rights.
I don't even think America pretends. I think they manipulate us to believe that.
That's what I'm saying. We're pretending because we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Like we say that we're so free and we look down at places like North Korea and we look down at other places and we're like, oh, they have hungry people. Oh, they have this. We have hungry people.
Yeah.
You cannot go fishing without a license.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot go to a national park without paying. You think that you're free to do all these things. You can't parent the way you want to parent. You can't live the way you want to live. You can't drink what you want to drink. You have no control. We've done really, really well at pretending and inflating everyone's ego to make us feel like we are here. We have people that cannot read and write and will argue down that America is the #1 country.
Nah, yeah.
Do we have a great military? Yeah. Do we have great weapons? Yes.
You also have great debt.
Thank you. We also have a country that is literally killing each other from the inside out. All because of this ego. Like it's down to racism, it's down to sexism, it's down to stripping people's rights away. And I think that's what comes to question, like, at what point do you take a step back and say, our ego is hurting us as well as the country, as well as the people around us?
I mean, you can see it in how it hurts us on this particular level. I mean, currently the relationship thing going around in all of our cultures is crazy right now. I mean, I think that's... Now, do I blame politicians for that? No, but I believe that not looking inside...
Not?
You blame politicians for the current... Well, okay.
I blame politicians down the war on drugs. That was a direct attack on black people.
I get what you're saying. So that part...
Separating the families.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Facts.
Remember black women, when they would allow their husbands to live with them, they received less benefits?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like it's always been an attack on black people. And now all the shows...
Well, not even just black people, just people who are just not... They don't have the funds to really have a successful, I guess, family home.
No, because poor white people always had their benefits. Food stamps would have never been created.
But they have the most food stamps out of the entire country.
That's what I'm saying. Food stamps would have never been created if the sole interest was to protect black people.
Yeah, I mean...
So what I'm saying is the programs that were specifically created for black people were built on separating the families.
Which programs were made for black people?
Like when... I guess it's not the specific programs as much as the application process. Mm-hmm. If you have a home with a white family, a mom, a dad, and multiple kids, that's fine. Multiple baby daddies, whatever, that's okay. Mm-hmm. Give a black woman the same circumstance.
Right.
Put the father in the home, they receive less benefits. You could both be a family of 4, mom, dad, 2 kids. The white family will receive more benefits than the black family.
Do you know why? This is my theory, why they was allowing white people to get those benefits over black people. This was always a division.
It was started for
This was a division, not even a race thing. It was more so of a class thing. They knew that white people and black people on this level were at the same, but to give the white people some form of superiority, they gave them more benefits to kind of divide us to believe that we are different when we're not different at all in terms of class. Because in my opinion, classism is way more dangerous in our current country than racism is, because I believe classism is what fuels racism anyway.
You think?
Because in reality, if we all knew where we were at as a class in general, if the
I think people not knowing what classism is the issue. I don't think classism is the issue.
That's it. Well, I'm saying like that directly impacts racism, because if we all knew that we were all in the same boat, no, regardless of color, we would be way more unified. We'd be way better off otherwise.
I don't agree with that, because I think we can see that with the way people don't even know what they're in.
I mean, I'll give you an example. So let's say you meet a black person that's uppity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel like
I don't care. What is up? Like, I don't care.
like somebody who basically looks down on you regardless? Like,
So
don't you feel a certain level of disrespect that's different? Don't you think like, hey, we're on the same level? Why do you feel like you need to talk down to me like that, even though we're the same kind of person?
No, because I don't feel like people above me speak down to me. I feel like it's
I'm saying,
more
what
people
if
that are
they did?
beneath me try to, like the lady earlier today.
Yeah, but what if they did? Like,
I guess I don't have that experience as much as people not understanding where they are in the food chain. So think about...
that's what I mean.
So I'll say maybe I have more lower class people, like hence, and again, I think this is where like ego and everything else comes into play. All the people that voted for Trump thinking we're going to get rid of SNAP benefits. Food stamps are going to be gone. Yay. We're tired of people milking the system. They don't need this. Those are the people that I feel like try to make comments. And I'm like, I've never received government assistance as an adult. Like as a child, absolutely. Like it was what it was. As an adult, I've never received government assistance. I don't.
Yeah.
You receive government assistance and your ego is so big in your trailer park or in your apartment or in your home that you don't realize that you are a SNAP recipient and now you're no longer getting your food stamps because you think that you're better than what you've relayed in your mind that a food stamps benefit recipient is, which you think is a black woman paying for her hair, nails, and whatever else, when we've seen on the internet the white women buying their pops and dumping them out to sell the cans and doing all the things. So I don't think I have that experience with people that are above me because I feel like I'm in really good circles and everybody that is above me is trying to help me.
You're trying to uplift you.
Yeah, I don't have that experience where like I'm better than you.
Right.
Maybe when I was in college, and have you ever encountered a Jack and Jill?
I've heard about the Jack and Jill kids. I never encountered them though.
Okay, if you encounter a Jack and
Because I remember
Jill
there was that commercial about the kids in polo, and everybody was pissed about it. They're like, oh, they think they're better than everybody.
Jack and Jill is a different brand. Look it up. Jack and Jill is a black program for influential families. Those kids are a different breed. The only time I feel like I encounter black people that look down on me is when they are trying to assimilate and have a closeness to whiteness.
A proximity to whiteness, yeah.
And
okay.
that again, I think that goes to ego
that's
and self-hate.
Okay. But see, but that's where because they think that their class.
I think that they hate being black so much that they feel like it's a bad thing. Now, have you been on like Asian TikTok or have you seen the controversy?
About going to their markets and like people side on them and shit? Or is that something
about how
different?
they're talking about like the racism and the proximity to whiteness?
Yeah, because I think it started off with some white lady went to a Asian market, like an H Mart, and then she
complained about the smell, the food, everything.
Yeah.
So they kind of talk about this the same way that black people do. And I guess it all boils down to ego and who we view at the hierarchy. And everybody views the hierarchy as white people.
Yeah.
Like that's the aspiration.
Yep.
So there's a lot of Asian creators that were getting smart because they're like, if you notice, the Becca Blooms, their following is predominantly white.
Yeah.
She has a white husband.
I think somebody named Sujia was on TikTok. She's also,
married to a white man. The black lady who thought she married the Dutch prince, tucking the braids.
Yeah.
All of the people that have those egos where they're looking down onto other people have attached themselves to whiteness and are judging everybody that they think is beneath them. People that I feel that aren't racist and aren't into ego and into anything, I don't have any problems with. It's people that have a lack of self-identity, a lack of who they are, and have attached themselves to something else.
I mean, this is where ego clouds your judgment.
Yeah, because you want to be that so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just, like I said, overinflated ego definitely will cloud just most things that, you need to recognize in your life anyway. I mean, like I said, we were talking about relationships and how in this current climate, relationships are a thing where it feels like as though women don't like men or men don't like women.
I think men don't like women.
I seen a clip today, and the dude said that heterosexual men don't like women.
They don't.
I think they like women. I think in this particular climate, currently what's going on with all the, the gadgets and shit, the social media and all that, men don't recognize how to really court women anymore, and they don't know how to really talk to women anymore. It's not a thing. It's not a thing where they don't go to the mall anymore and try to really talk to women. That doesn't happen anymore. People don't have game for real no more. You don't know how to. You don't converse with a woman and know what her interests are generally, or know how to make her feel well or feel good. That doesn't happen. It's a DM now. It's a DM away, and I'm gonna throw you about 200, or we're gonna go out to eat, and they tricking. They tricking. Yeah, they tricking like crazy.
The transaction.
Yeah,
that's what messed it up.
It is transactional.
And men did that.
Yeah.
Men created the dating economy that we have now, and then complain over male loneliness, and it all comes from ego.
Yeah.
Men sat for years and years and years and talked about how women have nothing to offer. We see it in this administration. You want to take away our rights to vote. You want to take away our names. You want to take away our ability to do anything other than just be baby factories. Our government is currently telling women that you're worthless unless you're a wife. You're worthless unless you have kids. They let a 25-year-old die in Florida because she was unmarried and had no children. They pulled the plug. It's a new law. Your life is now worthless if you are not a mom. And I think women flipped the game. Men started treating dating as an option. I don't need to date you. I want to pay for sex. I want to pay for this. I want to pay for that. And then I don't want to deal with you. So then women said, okay, I'm going to take it.
But it's
give me the money and leave me alone.
And that's the thing. It's also on the other side where y'all are accepting the money and y'all are okay with it though.
Because I think the issue was, you're now telling me that all I have to offer you is sex, right? You don't want me to talk to you. You don't want to hear about my day. You don't want any of that because you're a big man. You have a job. You have your friends. You're too busy for the frivolous things. You don't have time for that. You want this to be a transaction. So women said, okay, cool. I work, I do this. I don't need that from you either. So cool. They pulled a you on you, and now you want to cry that no woman wants to sit there and hear about your day. No, Robert, nobody cares about your day and your bald spot and your nasty attitude.
But I also think at the same time though, it would have been a better situation if Melissa didn't take the money. Like, don't take the money.
So you're mad that men created a problem that women benefited from and then didn't?
I think nobody's benefiting from this transactional shit.
I think that's a lie. Women own the most homes. Women have the most degrees. Women are doing just fine. I don't hear anybody complain about a woman.
But divorce rates are at an all-time high, and they're not relationships are not happening.
Because women are now realizing I no longer have to be with this ego-driven.
So I'll tell you this. Because you took because what happens is if you take money from Tom. And you want to marry Ken, but Ken knows that you took money from Tom. But you love Ken. Ken might be like, you took money from Tom. I don't never be with you.
So you think men are asking for these divorces?
No, I think it's both ways. This is a two-sided thing.
I think women are realizing that they no longer have to adhere to these old traditional values. Because think about it. The main reason for marriage back in the day, male ego, the laws. Women can't vote. Women can't buy houses. Women can't work. I cannot physically provide for myself unless I'm associated with a man.
Agreed.
So then you're brought up by these women who have those same values. Think about our parents. Think about grandparents who, if we look at some old couples, 60 and up, sleep in separate rooms, don't touch each other, don't talk to each other, no affection, no nothing, because we got married, we had these kids, and we just gonna ride it out till we die. Miserable. Now, people in our age group are like, I ain't gotta do that. Like, I don't have to deal with this. I can't find a man that wants to be in a relationship with me, we got all these pop the balloons, what do you bring to the table, all these sassy men.
Is it just sassy men or is it also overly aggressive women?
I think women have become overly aggressive because when I think back to 17-year-old me living in Florida on the quad in Florida with people crossing the Ave trying to talk to me in their vehicle. That's their baby mom's car with the pink fuzzy dice in the car seat in the back trying to talk to me. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. It was F-U-B, I don't want to talk to you anyway, Now you're trying to stop the car and fight me?
Is that common or is that that's common?
What? Do you know how many women...
A nigga being denied is going to curse you out. That's common.
Do you know how many women have lost their lives because they told a man no? But how many women have been raped, killed, beat up?
But is that common?
Yes.
How common is it, though?
Very common.
So
Very common.
What percentage is common to you?
I would say I don't know statistics, we can look it up, but I guarantee 1 out of 5 cat calls lead to a woman being physically abused or assaulted, if not killed. Like the woman who was trying to leave her husband, the friends calling like, hey, where's Ashley? I haven't seen Ashley in days. He's like, bro, she's fine. Don't worry about it. He killed that lady.
No,
and if it wasn't for her friend 10 toes, they would have never found her.
No, I'm not denying that
These
that
men
doesn't
are
happen.
wild.
Niggas
Men
is
do
wild.
not accept no. Men's egos have allowed you guys to feel like you are entitled to every part of a woman, regardless of what you can or cannot bring to the table. You want me to build a home, be a mom, almost die giving birth, snap back while you're still on OnlyFans, talking to people, doing this, doing that, cook dinner, sleep with you, do this, and be your peace. And what are you offering? Hard dick and a headache?
You think it's that one-sided?
When I asked a man, I played the role reversal.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me, what do I bring to the table? I said,
That's crazy.
I knew the conversation was dead when he said that, and it was just so funny.
So real quick,
so funny.
and that's the thing. Like y'all, you see where it's going already when somebody asks that question. Why do
As soon
you?
as it comes out of their mouth.
Why do you keep going on?
Shits and gigs. At that point, I wanted to know
Okay,
what
so
he
now
had to say.
so now you playing with it. So like,
I wasn't playing with it. He asked me with a straight face, so I asked him. I said, give me a second to think about it. What do you bring to the table? He said, well, I ain't got no kids. I got a job, and I'm fine.
and so okay,
Okay. I don't have any kids. I have a job, and I'm fine. So we're doing the basics?
and that's.
But his ego is so high, he thought he ate with that.
And that's what I mean. It's like
Sassy men.
you look at, like you said, you look at Pop the Balloon. And so we're going to go to the clip. I'm going to show y'all. If you don't know about Pop the Balloon, holy
Which
shit.
I've never seen a full episode.
Me neither.
I've only
Never.
seen clips, and I feel like this show, you know how they say like kids were born to like humble you?
Yeah.
I feel like this show, they pick the bottom of the barrel people that they can find
I mean, that's good content.
because drama sells.
Yeah. I think it's a
And then
psyop,
I
personally.
think people watch this so much that they feel like this is what life is really like.
I
And
know.
then they
Yeah.
come out and that's how they approach people.
I know people who are directly influenced by videos like this. Like, their mindset is literally
Are they your friends?
acquaintances. I mean, how do I say this? If I've known you for a certain amount of time, I have to call you my friend, right? Like, and I try.
I feel bad for people like that. Like when I tell you this year, I've cut, the end of 2025 and this year, I've just been snip.
Yeah.
I don't care because I cannot be associated with any of this foolishness. I was so irritated with you when I had to watch this.
You watched the clip, you watched the whole thing.
Of course I did not watch the whole thing.
Okay,
I
I was
watched
about
the
to
clip.
say,
First of
if
all, I
you-
could tell
well-
from the outfits it was going to be foolish.
Yeah.
From the attire. I grew up in the projects, went to 9 school. I've done it all. I've seen it. I can spot tomfoolery from 2 miles away because by the time you get to mile 1, I've changed my destination. This, I could tell from looking at them how it was gonna go.
And we're going to show you exactly what it looks like. Y'all should have seen Pop the Balloon. If not,
And if
you're lucky.
you are watching it actively, you need to stop.
Yeah, you definitely need to stop. But check out this clip. We'll give you. This is how ego drives our current relationship crisis that we got going on.
It's the initial attraction for me. You know, she's a beautiful woman, but not my type. Not really. I'm not really interested.
Okay, why she not your type?
Just initial attraction, not there.
Cause I'm taller?
Nah, I ain't got nothing to do with you being tall. Just not my type. You deserve somebody that's gonna be serious about you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's gonna give you that. It's just you
Give me
deserve
what?
that energy.
Like land?
that you
like
deserve.
What? Okay, all right.
What's going on right now?
Clothes, you know?
Okay, is he somebody your type though?
Nah, he Kevin Hart looking ass nigga. No.
Yo, boy, if you don't cook her right now, bro,
Nah,
like,
that's too easy. But I'll take it. It's okay.
You say you taking the high road. All right.
I'm taking the low road.
You taking the low road?
The little road.
What you mean by that? Come back. Hold on. What you mean by low road? What you mean by that?
Cause he you first of all, you 27, right?
28.
28. Okay. I'm 42, right? On a good day, right?
Okay.
So I could take care of you. I could give you a good life, you know, in the peas, you know?
I wouldn't go that far, sweetheart.
You saying the project?
I got waterfront property though.
And the peas,
2-bedroom apartment.
the peas is crazy.
Okay. So where you live?
I live in Rockland.
Oh,
Rockland
nice.
County.
Yeah. See, okay. I dig that. Your mom's house.
I we moved on, y'all. Yo, what the fuck? All right.
So many problems. So many problems. So many problems. Do you know what this took me back to when I was watching this?
What was that?
High school, lunch, cafeteria.
It is.
Cafeteria.
Yep.
Flaming people up. Where were you for high school? Because I know you bounced around a little bit. So I can make sure this is relatable.
Freshman year, I was in Albuquerque. That was very mixed. It was black minority, white majority. Lots of, matter of fact, it might have been Mexican majority.
You lived up north before though, right?
No.
I feel like this is, as soon as I heard her talking and I saw the way she was looking up and down, I knew it was gonna go left real fast.
Yeah.
I feel like up north has a big flame you up.
It has to be.
It could go either way. Like we could end like firing each other up, laughing, dab each other up, and we cool, or you might get hit.
Yeah.
And it might be the dude hitting you or it might be the girl hitting you. You
That's
don't know
crazy.
where it's gonna go.
That's crazy.
But there were so many issues, right? You're 42 on a pop the
On a
balloon.
dating show. But she from the P's though.
Nobody seemed to be her age demographic.
No.
The height comment, I'm tall, I'm 5'11". I personally never make comments on people's height. Unless somebody is really pressing me, because I guess there's this new like short king thing where all these short men are like just loving tall women. It's been all over my timeline. I saw like one video of this interesting looking white man who's like obsessed with black girls, and then I've just been seeing like a whole bunch more. And it's just all these like, and I'm talking like 5'2" short kings talking to like 6'7" Dominican big thick women. Like I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. But there's a couple shows out there where like they're literally just finding these short people.
Yeah.
So unless I have somebody like that that's like, no, I like tall women, then I'm like, nah, bro, like you're just short. Like that's not my thing. Other than that,
That sounds like a fetish. I think if you're
It is.
5'2", you're looking for 6'7", that's a fetish.
and if you're 6'7" looking for 5'2", that's a fetish.
That is a fetish, yes.
That's not my thing. So I
Which is
never-
crazy, and I know y'all gonna be like, what the fuck you mean? I can't.
You can do whatever you want.
If that's like your full preference, like that's a fetish, homie. And it's okay, you know what I'm saying? If you can hit, jackpot, you feel me? But that is a fetish, doggy. Like,
Personally, as a person, I try to treat everyone with respect. When it comes to dating or navigating, men are very aggressive. They do not like to be told no. That's just my experience. I've had terrible experiences
give
with very
me
aggressive
a
men.
ratio. Like, tell me out of 10 men and wherever the dates or meetups,
7 to 8 are
7
aggressive.
to 8 out of 10 are aggressive.
When I'm telling you, like, I'm
Do
not
you like
interested.
aggressive men?
I like a man that's assertive.
Like
I don't
confident.
like a man that I think is gonna try to hit me. And that's
Right.
what I mean by aggressive. I feel like you're very, like, you make me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I have a stronger personality, so I know that whoever I'm with has to match that.
Oh, okay.
Like, you have to be, I can't have, like, a weaker man that's, like, just
No,
more
right.
timid.
You don't want no yin yang situation?
No, because I need to be put in my place.
Really?
Like, if I do make you feel a certain type of way, I need you to be able to articulate that to me.
You don't think a man that's your yang to your yin could put you in your place?
I'm not saying I don't want a man yoking me up.
But what if he's like, he does it in a calm demeanor, but he also does it in a way that's like, you know.
I'm fine with that. I'm not saying he has to yell at me. You have to be able to put your foot down.
Okay.
At some point, and I think that's where people get like assertive and aggressive confused. Like, I want a man that's able to tell me like, babe, it's time to go. And I know like, yeah, it's time to go. Like, I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm fine. Like, no, I need you to be like, no. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Not necessarily aggressive. Like, if you're making me feel uncomfortable, that's a problem for me.
Okay.
This situation, the way that she was speaking to him, for me, I don't talk to men that way. Unless we're just joking. Like, if you're my homeboy and we just going back and forth, talking crap back and forth, cool. But just to be attempting to date and talk about him, like, I think he was very respectful. I think he handled the situation very proper. Like, girl, you're 42, you live in the projects, and you're trying to and which is fine, but it was the shady comment when he said where he lived, it was, oh, it's your mama's house. As if he couldn't accomplish something because you didn't. That was wild. Then the go back to come for his looks. She's not the most aesthetically pleasing. The back of her ponytail doesn't reach the top of the ponytail. Like, he could have fired her up, and then what?
I mean, he actually had the opportunity, but he even told him to. And he basically said, no, it's too easy. I'm just going to It's okay. Matter of fact, when they asked him like why not, I think he said
he was very respectful.
yeah,
he just
was
said,
like,
"You're not my type."
It's not my type, which is and this
Her
is
ego, her insecurities led her to talk about him. And as a man that was comfortable in who he is, it's kind of like the stupid jokes. Like if you call a fat person fat, if you call a black person a racial slur, like that's so easy.
Yeah.
Like come for something hard. And I think he knew like, girl, come on. Like you're easy.
This is where humility comes in. This is where you see ego versus humility.
And that's probably why they had 20-year-olds on there. Cause you're 42, but you act like you're a kid.
And that is the crazy that's the dynamic here that this particular clip shows that dynamic in which big ego meets somebody who recognizes their own ego and is able to collect themselves in a way that they don't have to meet your energy. They can just meet you with more humility. I mean, you think of like Buddhist monks, right? I think if you think of anybody who has the most humility on this earth, I mean, not to say that they do. I'm just saying, like, when you think about it, or in fiction, or in any kind of book you might read, you go to the monks and Zen and stuff like that. That is kind of like where you would kind of want your mind to be at. You don't want to necessarily match somebody all the time, and especially if it's a large ego, you kind of want to meet them elsewhere and then show them a better way to bring them down to you instead of you going up to them.
And I agree with that, but I think that's the issue with the dating today, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking to earlier. Like, if this is all you're consuming all day,
it will influence you for sure.
Of course you think dating is terrible.
Yeah.
Of course you think every woman is terrible, every man is terrible. Like, this was exhausting to watch.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have me watch like a long portion, but I was like, this is such broke behavior. Like, I can't even.
Hopefully people do it for more comedy than anything else.
I don't, though. I think people genuinely believe it. My mom had called me to ask me about an episode, and I was like, what is that? And I had to Google it, and I was like, why are you watching this?
When was this? How long ago was this?
Like a year ago.
Yeah,
and I was so annoyed that she even called me to ask me. I was like, why are you, what?
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't have these, I rarely have the conversation, and that's why I was laughing when I said the person that asked me, like, what do I bring to the table? Like, I'm only asked that by people that I know bring nothing to the table or have nothing to offer. I've never been asked that by a high caliber man.
Who started that?
Probably Samuel.
Was it Kevin Samuels?
Kevin Samuels?
Was it Kevin Samuels?
I was about to call him Samuel Jackson.
No,
I know you're not about to call that.
Don't do Sam Jack like that. Yeah, man.
I was picturing the little rat faced light skinned man that was messing with Brittany Renner. Yeah. I think he hates women. I think a lot of these men that have these podcasts hate women. And I feel like that's why they go so hard. Because he talked all of that about women and rah, just to end up with Brittany Renner. And then there were all the gay allegations.
Which one are you talking about?
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels didn't go with Brittany, did he?
He was outside of Lake Colonial in his car with her, and they were out on dinners.
That might be true. I think
it was true. I've seen it.
Because she ran around with a lot of dudes, bro.
The last month or so before he passed away, they was kicking it.
I mean, she been kicking it with a lot of niggas.
But
she was dealing with Kevin Gates.
They were married.
They were like Muslim married.
No, I think they did.
I don't think they were ceremonial. I don't think they had a ceremony and got married. I don't think
so. Y'all expect women to take men serious when this is how y'all out here behaving?
But look how she behaving.
I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm saying there are a lot more men that behave like Kevin Gates, Offset, Kevin Samuels than there are Brittany Renners.
I disagree.
You think?
As a note off screen,
You think?
You saying like there's dudes out here like these people. There's women out here like some
there's
women.
the Selena Powells but what I'm saying is I think the Selena Powells are a drop in the bucket compared to the amount of men
it's the same.
that are out here acting like this.
So
There's more of y'all than there are of us.
You think?
Yeah.
I know. That is
so
a statistic.
So why do they keep passing around the same four? If there's so many.
Because those women are trained up.
The women we want,
trying to train
I ain't
up
gonna lie. The women we want are inside. They're not easily available.
It doesn't seem like y'all want them because I never see them.
I want one right now. If all you do is go to work out, don't work out, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. You keep your body well, whatever, cool. And you want to watch movies all day, holla at me, please. Like, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even.
DMs are open.
Please, like that's what I don't want to go outside in Atlanta and see somebody who's at the bar every week.
The dating here is so bad.
I don't want to do that. Like, I want to meet somebody who's humble. You know what I'm saying. We can read books on the weekend. I don't give a fuck. Like all of that. You You know what I'm
I love
saying?
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but
You need
I
to
can't.
go-
But you're not. Where can I meet you at? I have to
You
be at
can
work.
meet them at the plant store.
They don't go to plant store.
Yes, they do.
They fucking use
No, they don't.
Instacart and they have somebody get that shit for
No,
them.
they don't. I'm telling you where they go.
They don't
I'm
even go
telling
to.
you.
They use Instacart. Go get their grocery store. They eat fucking.
I'm telling you where they go.
What is it?
They don't want
DoorDash
to be
and Uber Eats
approached
and
at the
shit.
plant store.
I'm telling you, there's a plant.
Oh, and y'all don't. And that's
there's
nothing.
a plant
Don't
event.
talk to me.
The women that are ideal
I'm
don't want
telling
to be
you.
approached in the most standard way.
But I'm telling you, it's kind of like the women that are going to Home Depot to try to find the man. I'm telling you, there's a plant lady. I'll put her information in at the bottom of this chat. It's a black girl, super cool. I think her name's Carmen.
You said she goes to Home Depot?
No. I'm
The
not
wrong
putting that
people
on her.
might show up. Don't put her information in the chat.
She owns a plant store and she does espresso martinis for $5 and plants for $5. Last year, she did it for the first time and there was a line wrapped around the building. There was probably 10 men there. The rest were women. Super sweet girls, baddies, minding their business on a Saturday to get plants and espresso martinis.
Why would a man go and get plants and espresso martinis?
Why? You don't like plants?
Yeah, but like, I'm not about to be like, oh yeah, it's a plant event. I'm going to this like 100%,
Well,
and I'm
you
gonna get an
just
espresso
said you
martini.
wanted to find her.
I do,
You can't break into
but-
her house. You're not Spider-Man. I'm
But
giving
it's
you
like-
the layup.
I feel you, but it's like, damn. I feel like that's like, it's too desperate. Like, damn.
How's it? Do you not like plants? Do you have plants around your house?
No.
Well, maybe you need one. It's great oxygen. Go and get a plant. It's $5. Go buy a plant. You might find your wife.
You might be right.
You got women aimlessly looking around Home Depot like lost puppies trying to find a man.
But I don't know. I feel like, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna sound crazy. If a nigga had a bunch of plants in his house, he might be a little.
What?
You know what I mean? He might be. I don't know.
If I went to
Not
a
to say
man's-
niggas can't have plants. I'm not even saying
There's
that.
like 5 DJs I follow right now that DJ from their home and have the cutest low maintenance plants and their houses are immaculate. Their little apartments with their little DJ setup. What are you talking about? Get yourself a snake plant.
Them plants are for show.
Well, he won me over. He got a
It's
girl.
it's for the
he got a
ambiance.
girl and a cat. Two
Look,
cats.
his girl probably set up the plants.
All I'm saying
Matter
is,
of fact, I guarantee it.
there's places you can find.
But
There's a single man.
niggas. Now, mind you, I know niggas who fuck with plants, but I'm not a. You not goes ego, by the way.
Cause why you can't have a snake? You don't want to breathe.
No, I fuck with plants. I feel exactly what you're saying, but it's like
This is crazy. Now you too manly to get a plant.
plants. No, it's just like that's kind of a. It might be setting the wrong tone. I think yeah. A nigga got a bunch of plants. Matter of fact, we have this as a question because this is a great question. Audience, how do y'all feel about men having a bunch of plants in the house? Just a bunch of
What
plants.
is a bunch? Like 5, 6? Like
How many
here's-
plants? Like the plants you got in your crib?
I probably have like 40 plants.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So
But they're all over. I have a tree. I have snake
But
plants.
this
I have them
is
all
the
over the top
this
of
is
my
the question
cabinets.
of now. This is a question of my ego.
I would ask him
Am
when
I
I go into a
tripping?
man's apartment and it's too nice. I'm like, did your mom help you decorate? Those are questions I ask, or did your girl just move out? Those are questions I ask. But if a man had like 2 or 3 plants, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's a simp.
2 or 3 plants. I'm saying abundance though.
I've never seen a man with an
Because
abundance
why
of
would I?
plants.
Because to me,
Unless they're from the islands.
if I'm pulling up to get espresso,
my friend's man
for fuck's
was
sake,
from the islands and he had a bunch of
because
plants.
that's like a pop up, right?
her
Her
plants-
thing?
She owns a plant store, but she does the pop-up
She
event.
did the pop. Okay, so imagine a nigga going. Well, not imagine, because you already have your opinion on it. What kind of nigga is like, yeah, I'm about to go to this pop up to get a plant and some espresso martini. I'm not about to make that a plan in my book. I'm personally.
I didn't get an espresso martini and I tried to get a plant. A $5 plant is a good deal.
And if I had to put money on it, you say it was 10 men there.
Yeah.
I guarantee at least 2 of them like men. That's just being real. And it's not, like I said, once again, it's the ego thing. This is my ego right now on stage.
So where do you expect to meet this lady?
That's what I'm trying to find out. We talked about it. I'm thinking that book club or something like that might be good, right?
That's not too, like, what book are you going to read? Are you going to take a masculine book? What are you going to read?
No, I'll read like, because I want to get into like more cultural politics, like some Ta-Nehisi Coates or something like that.
You can go over there in the art of seduction. Art of war.
Maybe 50 laws or 48 laws? Is it 48 laws of power? Maybe something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that so fucking inside myself on some masculine shit. It's just like.
That last statement about the plant seemed very ego-driven.
But I mean, I don't see niggas popping up to go get no espresso martinis and plants. To me, that doesn't seem like a.
You don't have to have the espresso martini. I'm just saying, the kind of woman that you mentioned, I saw at that event. I see at the art galleries. I see at different
I
pop-ups.
would go to art galleries. I would go to certain art pop-ups.
I'm just giving you options.
No, I'm saying those particular options, yeah. But I think that particular one, maybe not. But I get what you're saying. You're on the right. We're on the right track, right? So.
I'm not gonna meet her at El Malo.
And who? El Malo? Yeah. Hell no. That's what I'm saying. So it's like I need.
Not the St. Regis. I know you heard the other podcast. People talking about all the types of women and where they go.
Yeah. I know. But specifically my type of woman, I would have to meet her. And most of them I met at like work or something like that. And it's during passing. And that's kind of the problem is that like they're not easily accessible as much
I think
before.
you need to change your environment. Go to a food festival.
That too. You're right.
One of the art fairs. Something different.
Yeah.
I feel like based on what you're saying.
I'm gonna be honest. Art fairs, I've done that.
They're fun.
They're fun. But it depends on the woman, right? Like, because I think on the surface, even myself, I've been seeing what they thought I was like a what was it? What's the right word? Not necessarily
eclectic.
Not even eclectic. That's the thing. They look at me like I'm because the people I might bring around, they might think I'm on some like player shit. I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm very.
You can't go to like the museum when they do like the trap music. I'm not talking about that.
Nah.
I'm talking about like a real
What's
museum.
What's the spot called? It's the spot we used to go to. It's the
Not
over there,
the Hyde Museum?
Yeah, that one. You
But
talking
the
about
trap
don't go to
music.
those. It's not really trap music. We went.
It's trap music
Spanish.
on all 4 floors.
It was Spanish.
And 50-year-old men trying to talk to the 20-year-olds.
It was Spanish. It was Spanish music, and it was
Okay.
But I mean,
so we still got this video of ego versus ego, and we originally talked about doing it Cam versus Natalie on his podcast.
if y'all don't know who. So the Cam we're talking about is.
Take a guess. If I say eccentric, loud outfits, went to the NFL, played in a Super Bowl but didn't win, is trending right now. Several baby moms.
The Auburn legend.
Fought at one of the games where he was supposed to be commentating.
Carolina Panther legend.
Hat, feathers.
Cam Newton. Okay.
Podcast.
He does the Funky Friday. Is that what that Freaky Friday?
I have no idea what it's called.
Whatever it's called. So he has a podcast where he talks with different people, centric, whatever. He had one with Natalie Nunn. I wasn't gonna show y'all that, but there's one.
There's a better one with my girl, Lady London. If you don't know, you should.
Shout out Lady London.
Listen to all of her music.
Yeah, she's part of that.
She should be so much more famous than what she is.
She's part of that group where they're not gonna push her music up or in your face because she's not showing her body like everybody else is.
But she's a baddie.
But she's really good at
lyrically inclined.
She's a great rapper. And she look good.
I think Cam met his match in a good way.
Now, me personally, and I have my opinion on Cam. Actually, definitely has her opinion on Cam. But we're gonna show you this clip. I fucking died listening to this clip. So
I love Lady London.
I
feel like he did not know what he was getting into. He always underestimates the women he interviews, and I think he does what Shannon Sharp does, and he does no research on the women he interviews.
Cam got these fits,
it's
man.
It's an ego thing.
I like these fits. Cam held these fits, but yeah, we're gonna watch this clip.
He's what?
No, he has these fits.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
You would wear that?
Fuck no,
okay.
But
Just
I like the fact that he doesn't give a fuck.
I would wear that. I would wear that polo shirt.
Oh my god.
I wear the polo shirt.
We're gonna roll the clip. You know what I'm saying?
It's the ascot and the hat and the feather and the shorts and the.
No, that's not me.
Well, how would you describe your style in one word? That's an adjective.
Can I use a word that I've already used?
Sure, of course.
Eclectic.
Say it again.
Eclectic.
It's eclectic.
Well, the heavy on the N because
there's no N in it.
No. It's my word.
Oh, let's unpack this. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
It's your word.
Eclectic.
Spell it for me.
Nclecta.
Okay.
Eclectic.
Eclectic.
Do you want to know what the N stands for?
Niggatry. Am I right? Okay. Respectfully.
You see where I was going?
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I know there's a new word. We got to hit up Webster.
No, we ain't got to hit up nobody.
Oxford, nobody.
Why would we do that? Do they relate to us?
I'm pretty big on words. It's kind of how I make my money, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool, but you just use people that don't have Thanksgiving morals that I have.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Okay. I'm picking up what you put down.
Please, please, because I'm crushing it right now.
Are you?
Webster and Oxford, like, they don't eat what I eat in Thanksgiving.
Got
That
it.
smell ain't the same. They may be around cousins and aunties, but they feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Like what? And thank God for the ads. That's okay.
Basically, yeah, bro.
What?
Oh man. Hey, she said, "Are you?" That shit had me dying. Man,
What did you take from that? So let's back up. When you saw the Natalie one, what did you think?
I seen two masters at work. I mean,
So who did you think's ego was bigger, and who do you think won the debate?
I don't think there was a debate at all. I don't think there's ever really a debate. I think he was playing I think he was doing what he's supposed to do.
I think Cam looks down to women, and he feels like women are beneath him, which is why he brings the women on the show that he does, and he tries to control the conversation. As soon as the conversation doesn't go his way, he tries to throw slick and snide remarks to belittle them.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And with the interview with Natalie, he tried to start drama. What's the issue between you and Jocelyn?
He kind of has to, though. I would too.
Right, because you have to keep your ratings going because you're actually not talking about anything. When you have your interviews and people say things of value, you stop because you no longer can hold that conversation.
Yeah.
You can only hold ghetto conversations. So he brings people on like Natalie and things like that. So you got Natalie on there and you're stirring the pot with Jocelyn. Oh yeah, you and Jocelyn beef, right? Natalie's petty. No beef. What are you talking about? Well, because her show's better than yours. Oh, well, I'm the number one show. She's the number two. Then he made a petty comment, so then she went even lower. It's like when they go low, we go high. She went to hell. So now it's, well, you know what it's like to be number two, right? You went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, did you win? No. So you know what it's like to be second best. You know what it's like not to win. I think he tried that same thing and hence does not do his research because had he, especially with Lady London, it's giving advanced English. It's giving SAT, ACT great scores. It's giving, you might have been in a class where you needed a little extra time on your test. She's passing the test in all of her AP classes. That's not somebody that I would go toe to toe with when it comes to verbiage, vernacular, back and forth. I just wouldn't do it.
Do you think he's trying to like actively antagonize these people?
I think he thinks that he's smarter than them because she insulted him about 20 times and he didn't catch any of them. Do you not see his mannerisms and his gestures after what he thinks eats? And that's what I'm saying. Like, these new version of men that think that they're the prize are very feminine and sassy. It's almost like, oh, that's an interesting outfit you picked out.
You don't think
it's a petty comment that then you think that you got over on them and you didn't. It didn't work. You didn't win. He's making weird faces after he says what he thinks ate. You can tell he argues with people at the same intelligence level as him because the second he comes into contact with somebody he can't, like, neglectic? What are you talking about? You didn't even spell it how you would spell, like, you just made that up and you thought it was good and it was terrible.
Eclectic, y'all.
Because you didn't know what eclectic meant.
I think he knows what it means.
I don't think he does.
I think so.
I think he does now.
I know you know more about Cam than I do, right? I'm gonna tell you who Cam is from my perspective. Now, growing up in Georgia, you know, Cam played in Georgia. He's from Georgia, right? I think he went to D3 or he went to like a JUCO, Bisa JUCO. If y'all know what JUCO is, juvenile.
Junior college?
Junior college, yeah. Junior college, Beeson Junior College, he was able to go to Auburn. Well, he went to Florida, then he went to Auburn. And in Auburn, he won a national championship. Now, obviously, me living here, you hear about this shit. Cam is like the guy, right? Then he goes to Carolina, is able to take Carolina to the Super Bowl.
And then that's the one he didn't win.
Correct. Only that's the only one he's been to. So,
Got it. Okay. Didn't win, and now that's what he's known for?
Yeah, but you know, MVP Cam, he was MVP.
Okay.
Super Bowl. So obviously, the black community, to me, at the time, especially at that time, you know, he dabbing, call him Superman, inflated, right? Like, you know, everybody's like, can't, you know. Obviously, he was trying to get back to that form. He never did. Had to pivot to media. Now he wears the hats. Now he has the dreads, and then, you know, now he's in the media.
I feel like every time I see him in the media, it's very negative. He's fighting. It's arguments. Didn't he fight a mascot and a fan? And like the 8 baby moms, all the drama. Like I feel like anytime I hear about Cam, it's never associated with football. It's always him arguing with a woman or fighting.
And that's the thing. I don't know if it's necessarily because I know what happened because he does have a league. He has like a football league, and he got into a fight with I think it was people from in that league.
I saw him fighting a man. I think the man hit. I don't know who hit who first.
They were coaches. They were both coaching a game, and then one of the men were disrespectful. Cam.
That's not even what I'm talking about. This was like at another place. It was somebody all in black, and they were fighting downstairs.
Yeah.
That's a football thing. So that's
that?
what I'm saying.
This wasn't on the field?
No.
Oh, I don't know about him fighting that. I know the mascot thing was like a tongue-in-cheek thing, but the thing is, people play with Cam a lot when it comes to that stuff because what I see in the media when it comes to Cam is because Cam does present himself to people a lot, they kind of think, because the thing is, Cam didn't win the Super Bowl, so they kind of shit on him because when he did try to come back, it wasn't as glorious as it used to be. Like he was that nigga back then, and then when he, when the drop off came, it was a hard drop off. So everybody uses that to like down him a lot.
So I don't know him for his football career or anything like that. I worked a fellowship for a little bit, met him a few times. Nice guy. I don't like the way he talks to women. Okay. I don't like what I see in the interviews. I feel like he thinks that he's above it all. I don't like that. He's never been mean to me.
Right.
Every time him and I have spoken, he's been nice. Mm-hmm. But the persona that I see, he does have a little slick mouth. But I mean, I had no issues. However, what I see on his public platforms, to me, as a man with 8 kids, several baby moms, you're with a woman, you're saying you're still looking for the love of your life. You have all these people that sit here and talk to you. And as soon as something is intellectually said, you kind of just joke and kid. And to me, that goes to low intellect. It goes to big ego. It goes to like a why. And I feel like he purposely brings certain people on as fillers or as whatever. And then when they intellectually go head to head, he kind of nuts up.
Yeah.
And I feel like he doesn't give men that same energy, which is annoying because it's like you want to sit here and try to go back and forth with a woman, but I don't ever see that same energy with a man. And I feel like a lot of these male podcasters do that. They have all the smoke for women, but when it comes to men, they nut up.
So I'll say this. I think with that particularly, you mentioned Shannon Sharp. I think him and Cam have the same style because I mean, they don't have there's no school or training when it came to podcasting.
But I don't agree with that because Shannon Sharp's interviews with men are phenomenal because the research is done. With women, I feel like he half-asses it.
How many women does Shannon Sharp even have on his platform?
He interviewed Amanda Seales. When he did her interview, he didn't even know that her mom was black. And then he tried to argue with her that her mom was white. And she asked him, did you do your research? And he was arguing with her that her mother is white. What are the cards for?
But this is where they don't have.
So again, I don't think it's a media thing. I don't think it's a school thing. I went to school for broadcast production and technologies.
Right.
Broadcast journalism. My minor was in PR and then I switched it. Major was public relations, minor broadcast production technologies. I don't think that you need to have formal schooling to have a podcast. I think it's helpful. It's not hard to Google the person that you are going to interview. When they interview men, the conversations are starkly different than when they're interviewing women.
But I'm gonna tell you why.
I don't think they put the time in because they don't care.
I'm gonna tell you why. They 9 times out of 10 they know these men outside of them interviewing them. There's no real point. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know these women. I don't think he knew Lady London's track record. I don't think he knew Lady London's track record. He's not going to because he's not a real. Because you're ego driven and you think that you can coast off of your giggles and your There we go.
Because even when Cam has men on there that says quality things regarding relationships or broken homes or like as a man, how can you move like that? He gets very like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like he looks checked out of the interview. The body language changes, the eye rolls start, the conversation switches, and then he'll pucker up to ask a question that he thinks is going to be shady and he thinks is going to eat, and then he shut back down.
But see, now what he did though, what he does in these interviews, the same with Shannon is he'll create controversial conversations or what might seem to you is, well, and it can be, I'm not disagreeing with you. It might seem antagonistic, it might seem tongue-in-cheek, right? because that is going to get you. That's going to be viral. I mean, obviously the Natalie Nunn thing with fucking.
I don't think
nuclear.
it's that. I think it's these are the kinds of men that we were talking about earlier. These are the kinds of men that think that they are the prize and their ego is up here and they feel like they're the best and everybody just needs to bow
That's part of
down
it.
and kiss their ass and be grateful to be breathing their air.
That's
and
part of it.
exactly why they end up in these weird relationships, or they're single, or they end up paying somebody's bills, and they end up in a very transactional, loveless, male, lonely, epidemic relationship.
But I mean, does that apply to men who are successful?
I think it applies to everybody. If you are an ego-driven male that feels like someone, and I feel same for women. If you feel like everybody should just be blessed to be breathing your air, you are going to live a lonely life. You might be surrounded by beautiful women and beautiful men, and you might have nice things, but you are going to be a very lonely individual because nobody's actually going to want to deal with that shit.
I mean, I think that's the point is like ego drives you to do the things that you want to do or reach the goals that you want to reach, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, if you use that in order to become successful, why wouldn't you use it all the time?
Are you going to use your powers for good or for evil?
It depends.
Do you think pretty privilege is a thing?
Hell yeah. Absolutely. You don't think so?
I think it is.
Okay.
But I think it's a matter of when you use it. When do you flip it on? When do you flip it off?
Why would you ever flip it off?
I always think it's funny. I think I benefit from pretty privilege. I mean, I know you guys are going to disagree with me in the comments, and I love that. Make sure you comment long dissertations and tag me. I appreciate it. I think I benefit from pretty privilege, but one of my favorite things is when I go out to eat, I'm extremely nice to everyone. I try to be a nice person in general, but I'm extremely nice. And it's always funny when people have an attitude, like when they first start serving me. And I'm just like, oh, okay, like, let's see where this is gonna go. And normally after they bring the drinks, like their demeanor shifts because I think they prep for me to be mean.
Yeah.
I think they prep like, oh my God, I have to deal with this rude person. Like, okay. And then it's normally like, oh my gosh, you're nice. Like, thanks. Like, yeah, a nice person. So no, I think it's a matter of like, are you pretty and you get things so you're just an asshole to everybody? Or are you pretty and you're aware, but you're still just a nice person? But I don't think that's an ego thing. I think that comes down to good morals. Like, why are you just being nasty to people? Why are you just being mean to people? Like, what's so wrong in your life that that's just how you go through life? That you're just a miserable human?
I think it's just, like you said, it's the coasting thing. I mean, it's not a lot of effort, right? And what happens is with low effort is, once again, ego, you're more looking into yourself. You're not looking at how everybody else sees you. Because, I mean, if you are pretty, who cares what everybody thinks at that point? I mean, if I'm going to get what I get anyway, what does it matter? And that's some people. Obviously, that's not everybody, but that's some people. And so that's why I'm pretty sure the waiter probably dealt with people like that all the time.
Oh, I love
there's,
it. I'm always
there's
like,
nothing worse than meeting a pretty face, terrible personality. That's probably one of the worst.
Oh, it makes you so ugly.
Oh, fuck.
I hate seeing a fine man with a nasty attitude or just treating people terrible or talking bad about people like, oh, my ex was just a shit person. Like, I look at you funny.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, because, you know, and you mentioned pretty privilege. You got to wonder, what fuels your ego? I mean, obviously, if you're pretty, you might, you know, I'm not going to say you. It depends on who, you know, so I don't know.
Throw shade? Go ahead. What you about to say?
No, I ain't throwing shade. It's just like, how do you know that you have pretty privilege, right? Is it the amount of DMs that you get? Is it the...
I don't think pretty privilege is DMs. I think it's simple things like certain rules don't apply to you.
Exactly.
Like, I was at the DMV and I forgot to fill out a form, and technically I should have had to get out of line, walk all the way behind.
But you didn't have to. You cut the line, right?
No, it was like my turn in line, but they didn't properly tell me what to do. So technically I should have had to get out of line, get back in line,
you had to do all the extra.
No.
So did that boost your ego a little bit? Like,
no.
You know, like you ain't feel a little like, oh, okay, I'm not shit?
No.
You ain't never felt that ever?
No.
So when all right, let's go to your early memories of pretty privilege, right? Like your first real, you didn't feel any kind of like...
So I think it's different
your head ain't built up just a little bit, you feel me?
No, because my mom, like, I've always been told I was pretty since I was little.
Okay, so you was just born in it.
I guess.
Yeah.
So I've always been told that I was pretty, and I was just like, okay. My mom, you want to talk about humbling?
Yeah.
She looked me dead in my face and was like, "You're pretty, so what? There's always going to be somebody prettier
Okay, so you
than
got checked early.
There's always going to be somebody better than you. You cannot rely on just being pretty. That is not going to work." So when I hear people tell me like I'm pretty, sometimes I take it as like an insult. Like, damn, they're going to think that I'm stupid. Like, I know that because people immediately just think I'm cute, like I have to work twice as hard. Because, yeah, I'm pretty, but there's 50 other pretty girls.
Yeah.
And now we have the internet, so we know there's 1,000 other pretty girls just within the next 2 minutes. And then there's 50,000, you know what I mean, in the surrounding area. So I think for me, it never made me like, oh, yeah, that's why I try to be a nice person. Like, I try to just treat people the way that you should. I don't rely on just that. So I don't think I have an ego when it comes to that.
Because you were checked early. I mean, I think your mother built that humility early. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the whole point of ego, to keep yourself in check. Because, you know, I asked the question, like, if I had a big ego, what's the point if I'm getting everything I want? And I think, you know, if you want people to look at you like you're a demon, I mean, I guess it's okay to run around with a big ego, right? But
if you already Beyonce, you don't have to tell people you Beyonce.
Right. You know, exactly. So that's the thing, because there's a lot of things I feed it. And I asked you, I said, you know, those pretty privileges, did that feed your ego? You said no, because I had humility early. It kills it, right? I mean, social media will feed it. Money definitely will feed it. But it'll hurt it. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I mean, I think people who don't have money have big egos. And so what happens is they're wasting all their money trying to buy designer because you feel like that, you know, you want to use a designer to fill your ego, but it's also hurting your pockets at the same time, but you don't recognize it because your ego is so fucking inflated. You have to recognize ego early on. And if you don't, it can destroy you, especially if you don't have any way to feed it correctly.
Like it's currently destroying our country.
100%. And so in closing, as we go into the end of this, and like I said, ego is basically the basis of damn near every problem, but it can be also the solution to everything that you got going. Like I said, it also inspires people. In sports, I mean, we talked about it, Cam Newton. Maybe the ego helped him out. Maybe it's hurting him now.
I think it's needed in sports. I think egos are needed to propel you, but it's a matter of, is your ego in check or is your ego running you?
Mm-hmm. And that's the basis of everything. Like I said, you guys have to look into this stuff. I'm not going to tell you to read Sigmund Freud. That is a lot. I ain't gonna lie. It was, like I said, it was a whole fucking semester. But it definitely gave me an insight on how to move, how to see people, how to make sure how they see me, how to be inspired, how to inspire somebody else. Very important thing. And I wanted to start off the year with that because as we go on the year, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of chaos going on. I know there's going to be a lot of things going on in the world, and I know that a lot of it is driven by ego because a lot of people in power are going to have inflated egos, and they're definitely not going to be in check, and that's the reason why they're doing the things that they're doing now. So, I mean, I ask you, where do you mostly see ego in general in life?
Me?
Yeah.
Work, social media.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was made for that. I think social media was made for everybody to see everyone's ego. Because once you do that, people are going to follow the biggest ego, right? You're going to follow the biggest person, especially if their personality is large. And that allows, this causes a shepherd and lamb particular dynamic. And, it's easier to sell to people who follow in that line, right? It's easy to sell to somebody.
People like confident people. Nobody wants to buy. People would not be buying front row seats to Beyonce's concert if she was out there acting like Summer Walker. Hi, I'm a bad
But they still buy Summer Walker tickets, though.
Bitch. They do, but I'm just saying Summer Walker is not selling out venues and arenas the way Beyonce is.
Beyonce.
What I'm saying is when you think Beyonce, you think empowered, you think girls, we run the world. You're thinking female empowerment. You're thinking relatable. She has the same issues that you do. It's human. I think when we think ego, what I would say to leave you with is, what has your ego cost you?
Whew.
Whether it's a relationship, a job, are you one of those people that can't admit because your ego is so big that you fucked up voting for Trump? Are you one of those people that lost your relationship or your marriage failed because of your ego? Did you not get a promotion because your ego is so bad you don't know how to talk to people, you don't know how to accept changes or feedback? I would assess what your ego cost you in 2025 and how you can fix that moving into 2026.
There it is. Thank y'all for watching. You already know what it is. It's your boy Kells. Ashley gave y'all the game.
Bye.
We'll be here a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is, and we'll see y'all later. Bridge ATL. Bridge ATL. Bye.
Bye.